Emma's first day at Whitmore Lane felt like stepping into another world. The skyscraper's mirrored glass caught the early sunlight and seemed to swallow her whole as she approached the revolving doors. At 23, fresh from university with honours, she had dreamed of this moment, an internship at one of the most prestigious law firms in the city, a firm built by none other than billionaire attorney Sean Whitmore. Her palms were damp, but she forced herself to stand tall. "You belong here," she whispered inside her head. "You've worked for this. You've earned this." Inside, the lobby gleamed with marble floors and soft golden light. The receptionist smiled kindly as Emma introduced herself, and soon she was being escorted upstairs into the buzzing heart of the office. Desks spread out beneath floor-to-ceiling windows. Phones rang, printers hummed, and lawyers in sharp suits moved with the urgency of people who carried the weight of million-dollar cases. "Everyone, this is Emma," the office manager announced as she led her around. "She'll be joining us as an intern this semester." Michael, a litigator in his mid-30s, leaned back in his chair and grinned. "Careful, everyone. She looks like the type who's going to put us out of work in a year." Emma flushed. "Oh no, I'm just here to learn." "Don't be modest," Anna, a paralegal with soft brown eyes, said warmly. "If Sean hired you, you've already impressed." Within minutes, Emma felt some of her tension dissolve. People welcomed her, cracked jokes, offered to help her settle in. At lunch, Anna invited her to join a group heading to the cafe downstairs. By the end of the week, Emma's laugh could be heard ringing through the office. She had a gift for connecting with people, not by being loud or boastful, but by being genuinely interested, genuinely kind. She listened intently when colleagues spoke, remembered small details about their lives, and encouraged them when stress wore them down. "You're going to be the favourite intern," Anna teased over lunch one afternoon. "Already is," Michael added with a wink. Emma shook her head, laughing. "Don't say that. I just want to be helpful. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're listening from. Don't forget to like, share with someone who would enjoy it too, and subscribe so you never miss the next story." And helpful she was. She stayed late to organize documents, ran errands without complaint, and even brought coffee for the team on early mornings. Her dedication was obvious, but more than that, her presence made the office feel lighter. One late night, while everyone hunched over a high-profile case, Emma brought over extra snacks from the vending machine. "Energy boost," she said cheerfully, handing a chocolate bar to Michael, who groaned in gratitude. "You're a lifesaver," he said, tearing it open. Anna added softly, "Seriously, Emma, you make these nights easier." Moments like that stitched bonds tighter than deadlines ever could. But not everyone appreciated her. Carla noticed her too, but not with warmth. Carla was Sean's longtime partner, both in business and in life. She carried herself with polished poise, sharp suits, sharper heels, and eyes that missed nothing. Beautiful in a cold, brittle way, she was feared more than admired. Most in the office respected her, but few truly liked her. She didn't need their affection. Power was enough. On Emma's first week, she tried to greet Carla with a polite smile. "Good morning." Carla's eyes flicked over her like one would glance at an ant on the sidewalk. "Morning," she replied, voice cool as glass, and swept past without slowing. Emma blinked, unsettled, but shrugged it off. Yet over the weeks, Carla's disdain sharpened. In meetings, when Emma presented well-researched notes, colleagues praised her work. Carla would purse her lips and say, "Well, enthusiasm doesn't equal accuracy." If Emma stayed late helping Anna draft a brief, Carla muttered loudly enough to hear, "Some people don't know when to go home." Her remarks were subtle daggers, wrapped in civility, but they cut all the same. Emma, raised on her grandmother's advice to never let bitterness dim her light, smiled through it. But at times she found herself retreating to the restroom just to breathe. Anna noticed. "Ignore her," she said gently one evening as they packed up their files. "Carla doesn't like anyone. She's threatened by kindness because she doesn't understand it. Michael, leaning on the doorframe, added, "Honestly, I'm not sure she even likes herself." Their words helped, but still, Carla's presence lingered like a shadow. Sean, meanwhile, noticed everything. At 45, Sean Whitmore was a man of composure. Tall, commanding, his presence alone silenced a room. He had built his empire on fairness and strategy. He was not easily fooled. And yet, when it came to Carla, he often overlooked the cracks in her character. She had been by his side for years, ambitious, clever, ruthless. For a long time, he believed those qualities made them stronger as a pair. But lately, he found himself doubting. "She's too much," Carla said one evening in his office, her voice silky but sharp. Sean didn't look up from the contract he was reviewing. "Who?" "That intern. Emma." He raised his brows slightly. "Too much?" "She's distracting everyone. They laugh too much around her. This is a law firm, Sean, not a playground." Sean leaned back, folding his arms. "That's called morale, Carla. And we could use more of it." Carla's eyes narrowed. "She's manipulative. I can see it. All those smiles, all that eagerness. She's angling for attention." "She's an intern," Sean said flatly. "She's here to learn. And she's doing an excellent job." Carla's lips pressed thin, but she didn't argue further. Not that night. But her comments didn't stop. She whispered suspicions, sowed doubt. If Emma spoke confidently in a meeting, Carla called it arrogance. If Emma helped a colleague, Carla called it performative. If Sean mentioned Emma's contributions, Carla accused him of being blinded by youth and charm. Sean defended Emma every time, but unease began to creep in. Not about Emma. No, she had proven herself beyond doubt. His unease was about Carla. Meanwhile, Emma's friendships blossomed. There were nights when the office stayed late, case files piled high, and someone would order pizza. They sat around the conference table eating greasy slices, swapping stories. "My first court appearance," Michael confessed once. "I tripped over my own bag and almost face-planted in front of the judge." Emma laughed so hard she nearly spilled her soda. "No." "True story," he grinned. "The judge looked at me like I was a circus act." "Don't worry," Anna said. "Emma will have her own embarrassing story soon enough. It's tradition." Emma shook her head, smiling. "I'll try my best to avoid it, but knowing me, it'll happen." Another night, Emma caught a mistake in a brief draft just before it was due. "This clause contradicts the earlier section," she pointed out nervously. The room fell silent. Michael double-checked and then let out a low whistle. "She's right. If this went out, we'd have been roasted in court." Everyone exhaled, relief flooding the room. Anna reached over and squeezed Emma's hand. "You just saved us." From then on, Emma wasn't just liked, she was trusted, which only fueled Carla's resentment. One afternoon, as Emma returned from lunch, she overheard Carla speaking to another senior lawyer in the hallway. "She's not as innocent as she looks," Carla whispered, her tone dripping with disdain. "Watch her. She knows exactly what she's doing." The lawyer shifted uncomfortably. "Carla, she's just nice." Carla's laugh was cold. "That's what she wants you to think." Emma froze around the corner, her heart pounding. For the first time, she felt not just disliked, but hunted. Still, she pressed on. She refused to let Carla's poison undo her. Still, Emma pressed on. She refused to let Carla's poison undo her. She poured herself into her work, into her friendships, into proving through action that she belonged. Sean, though, was no fool. He noticed the contrast. Emma's quiet strength against Carla's growing hostility. More and more, he found himself lingering in conversations with Emma, not because she sought attention, but because her insights were thoughtful, her attitude refreshing. One evening, after most of the staff had gone, Sean walked past a conference room and found Emma helping Anna organize boxes of discovery documents. "You're still here?" he asked, surprised. Emma glanced up, brushing a curl from her forehead. Anna needed an extra pair of hands. I didn't want her stuck here all night. Sean smiled faintly. You weren't assigned this? Emma shrugged. She's my friend. That's enough reason. Something in her answer struck him. Carla would never have said such a thing. To Carla, value always had to be transactional. But here was Emma, proving that integrity didn't need an audience. Meanwhile, Carla's bitterness deepened. At a partner's luncheon, she leaned close to Sean. You see the way she looks at you? Don't pretend you don't notice. She's using that charm of hers to get close. Sean set down his fork, his tone clipped. Carla, she's 23. She's focused on her work. Don't twist it into something it's not. Carla smirked. You're defending her again. I'm correcting you, Sean said coolly. Carla's nails tapped against her glass, but she let the subject drop. For the moment. Weeks passed. Emma became an inseparable part of the team. She remembered birthdays, brought homemade cookies one Friday, and even stayed late to coach another intern through a complicated research assignment. You've got this, she told him, and the boy's relief was palpable. But Carla only grew more vocal. Her whispers turned into accusations hurled in Sean's office, her disdain no longer veiled. Sean, she's undermining me. No, he said calmly. You're undermining yourself. Carla's face hardened. Then came the night that would shatter everything. Sean had planned a surprise for Carla, a private dinner at his home. Candlelight, catered food, soft music. He wanted to remind her of their connection, to salvage what felt fragile between them. Emma, overhearing Anna mention it, thought of a kind gesture. Despite everything, she wanted to extend an olive branch. She arranged for flowers and a small cake, hoping it might soften Carla's edge. When Emma arrived at Sean's house, she held the bouquet nervously, heart fluttering with hope that maybe, just maybe, Carla would finally see she meant no harm. But the door swung open, and Carla's face twisted the instant she saw her. You, Carla hissed. What are you doing here? Emma blinked. I just wanted to bring you these. As a surprise, I thought... You thought what? Carla's voice rose like a whip. That you could insert yourself into my evening? Into my life? Emma stammered. I didn't mean to intrude. I thought it might be nice. Nice, Carla barked a bitter laugh. Don't play innocent. Girls like you always pretend to be sweet while scheming underneath. Do you think I don't see it? Do you think Sean doesn't notice the way you flutter around him, fishing for approval? Emma's cheeks burned. That's not true. You only what? Carla snapped, stepping closer. Trying to charm everyone at the office with your laugh, your helpful little gestures? You're a distraction. You don't belong there. And you certainly don't belong here. Her voice grew louder, echoing across the quiet neighborhood. Curtains shifted, lights flicked on. A neighbor frowned from their porch. Emma's throat tightened. Still, she lifted her chin. I belong because I've worked for it. I've earned it. And kindness isn't weakness, Carla. But Carla only sneered. You'll never be good enough. Not for this firm, not for Sean, not for anything. People like you will always be beneath us. The words crashed like thunder. Emma's breath caught. Tears stung her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Then the door opened wider. Sean stood there, his face pale with fury. His eyes, dark and unflinching, fixed on Carla. The silence that followed was heavier than any shout. Sean? Carla began quickly, her voice shifting into practiced sweetness. She showed up uninvited, making a scene. Stop! Sean's voice was low, steel wrapped in fire. I heard everything. Carla faltered. You don't understand. I understand perfectly, Sean cut in. For weeks you've tried to poison me against her. I defended you. I believed you. And tonight I heard the truth with my own ears. Carla's mask cracked. Sean, she's manipulating you. No, Sean snapped. His voice rose now, carrying through the street. The only manipulator here is you. You've turned bitterness into cruelty. You've let jealousy and hate corrode everything between us." Emma whispered, her voice breaking, "I should go." She placed the flowers gently on the table and turned to leave. But Sean didn't move his eyes from Carla. His words fell heavy, final. "You destroyed your own happiness." Carla froze, her face drained of color. Emma walked into the night, dignity intact though her heart ached. The cool air kissed her cheeks as she lifted her head high, determined not to let Carla's venom define her. Inside, Sean remained standing, staring at the woman he once thought he knew. For the first time, he saw Carla without illusions. And for the first time, he understood the truth of character. It wasn't in beauty, power, or status. It was in kindness, in resilience, in integrity. Qualities Emma carried with ease. And as the door closed, Carla felt the sting of his words settle deep in her chest. She had destroyed her own happiness, and there was no one left to blame but herself.